Hello, everybody. This is Paul Waller again, President of Christian Sports Medicine Alliance. Want to welcome you back to Medicine with a Mission, Faith, Family, and the Profession podcast. We are now sitting at day 12 of National Athletic Training Month, and we are now on episode 20 of this podcast overall. And again, this is just an opportunity that we are taking for the entire month of March to highlight Christian athletic trainers in our profession and hear their story and how they became athletic trainers and what their setting is and kind of their background and how their faith in Jesus Christ manifests itself out in the workplace and in their setting that they're in. So today's guest is Hannah McCarrell. Good morning, Hannah. How you doing?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us where you are, kind of your background, where you are, the setting you're in, and just go right into your story of how you came to be where you are.
All right. Sounds good. So I'm currently living in the Chicago west suburbs. Right now, I live with my parents. I'm a GA at Concordia University, Chicago. So it says Chicago, but we're technically 20 minutes outside of the city. We're in Oak Park, River Forest area. I work with the football team, women's basketball, and men's volleyball team. So it's a busy schedule right now, but it's great. I love it. And so I originally got into athletic training. My family is big athletes, a lot of coaches, a lot of football coaches, basketball coaches. So I grew up around just being near athletics. If I was old enough and I had to stay on my own a little bit, I would spend time in the training room, really. And that just kind of grew a passion for athletic training for me. So
Nice. So what is your background? Where did you are you originally from Chicago, and how your family background and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I'm actually originally from Guatemala. I was born in Guatemala City, and then I was adopted at 6 months. My parents now, who are my adopted parents, I just call them my parents.
Mm-hmm.
They adopted me from a foster home, and it was like the best experience ever. It's a very God thing, just that I was picked and chosen for my parents, my family now. My family is very close. They're a big part of my life. I just got back spending some time with one of my aunts. I spend a lot of time with them. So it's kind of crazy how it works out, but we all just say it was a God thing. Like, I could not imagine having any other family than the one I have right now.
So what is so being adopted? I mean, were you raised in a Christian home? When did you come to know Christ, and how does that right now, being a GA, on the verge of becoming a full-fledged professional, and well, how does your faith and everything work within the confines of your workplace?
So my family that I was adopted into is Christian. The family that I spent the first 6 months with in Guatemala, they were Christian too. So that was one of the big emphasis on me being adopted. It was through a Christian ministry.
Okay.
And my grandpa really was a big believer and always stand firm in his faith. And so that just played a big role in everybody else that I grew up around. The strong believers, they don't waver, it's through anything you go through. And just having that support, like knowing you have family as support, but having a family that's praying for you every day, that's always sending you verses. And I have 13 cousins, and all of them are like siblings. We all grew up very close. But it like I got baptized with my younger cousin. So it's just, we are very close, but my grandpa really put an emphasis on our faith being the center point of us as a family.
Nice.
And it still follows today. So that, I think, is a big part of my faith and where that came from.
Mm-hmm. Now, is Concordia, is that a faith-based school, or is it a private school?
Yeah, so it's a Lutheran school. They're Lutheran.
Okay.
And so they have a chapel going on Fridays. They have a lot of we have a team chaplain on our football team, who does like Bible study with our guys. It's nice to be in the employment, like my employers, and knowing that they have that same faith base as well. And just being able to relate to, and like I have student athletes who, want to talk about our faith, or sometimes I see them at church. And that's also a great way to build a connection with them and a relationship with them outside of athletics. Because I think it's important to have that relationship in athletics and also outside of it as an athletic trainer.
Yeah, that's been the overall theme. I think if people would go back and watch the other interviews that we've done, that's been the overall theme with everyone, is that it's all about relationships.
Hmm.
And I've said this numerous times, that I think it's, we as Christians have the ability to develop those relationships on a different level, because we're able to, because Christ is working in us. So yeah, it's all about relationships and being able to develop those relationships, and loving them as Christ does, and showing them what a Christian athletic trainer looks like, and acts and works and stuff. So how does your faith, you see, does your faith play into your workplace very much, or how does that work?
Yeah, I hope so. I think one thing that I really try and emphasize is loving my athletes where they're at. God gives us our own grace. We all make mistakes. We all do things that aren't us, and just trying to figure life out. And during that, God shows us grace. So that I feel like is part of my job, is to show our athletes grace and to be able
Mhm.
to know that they're supported and loved no matter what, wherever they are. That's something that I really try and emphasize with them. Um, and just that they know I'm always here. I think that's something that I really try and focus on.
Have there been any challenges to that, with you're a GA? I mean, you got your full load, and how has really a full load? Has your faith been strengthened? How has it been challenged over the last 18 to 2 years, since we've been going through COVID? How has that been? How's your faith been worked?
Yeah, I think honestly through COVID, the past like year and a half, honestly, it's been rough, like in the beginning it was hard. It's hard to have such a lot on your plate, but also know that I got to put some time in to take for me. I think that was the hardest part. And I think one of the biggest things was I go to a church in the city, and it's called Soul City, and it's a great church. It is very big on community, and a few of my friends go there. I had some cousins go there as well. And when that shut down due to COVID, it was so hard to, I missed having that community where we all share the same faith. We could all talk, we could all worship together. So that was a struggle. That was hard. Things are kind of opening up back in Illinois, back in Chicago. So they do like limited church services now. You have to wear a mask, follow guidelines, social distance. That's helped a lot. I think it's strengthened my faith more though, because it taught me to be more independent and made me focus more on the things that I might have not wanted to focus on
Right.
um,
Yeah.
during COVID. I'm not very good at being um, quiet
Yeah.
or just kind of sitting with my own thoughts. I think that's probably the hardest thing for me. And
Mhm.
so COVID definitely made me have time and sit down and reflect on my faith, my relationship, how I can strengthen them with people, with God, and how I can be a better Christian, as in like how I can show that better and be there more, and how I can kind of step up in my faith.
So so is it, when do you actually graduate from school, and be able to get out and be a full-fledged professional? When does
So officially, my contract is up in May.
Okay.
So I'll start looking. I ended up changing my master's was originally in teaching,
Mhm.
and I changed it to education just due to COVID and like student teaching hours. It it's kind of hard right now with the hours that we're working for
Right.
sports. We're going all day. So I changed it to education. And I'm hoping, and the plan is to be graduated in the end of like July. So,
Okay. Okay. And what do you want to do when you graduate?
it's a good question. I I originally had a plan. That's why I was getting my master's in teaching. My plan was high school, AT, and teach also during the day. And right now I feel like God's just saying stay at the college level. And kind of, I didn't think I had the skills or organizational skills either to be at the college level. It's a little bit more independent, at least from what I've experienced so far. And right now it's kind of like a challenge. Like I feel like I'm being challenged. Like, no, you can be at the college level. Like you can do this. So that's kind of where I'm going right now. So
So do you have any places in mind? Are you targeting any places right now?
I'm talking to a few. I've applied to a few places. Concordia right now is hiring for an assistant. And then there's a few other colleges in the Chicago area and Atlanta that I was looking at. So I'm kind of open.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, that's good. I mean, you got to keep your options open. So have you thought about ever um, using your skills on short-term missions?
I have. So originally in college, actually, um, our group of athletic trainers, they would go to the DR,
Mhm.
and they would do like a sports medicine trip with our program director. And the one year that they were going to do it, I had a few family obligations, so I wasn't able to. But I saw that you do stuff like that in
Yeah, we
Central
do.
America. Yeah. So
Mhm.
I was actually wanting to reach out about that too as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
that's
did you do your undergrad at Concordia also?
No, I did my undergrad at Olivet Nazarene University.
And where is that located?
That's in Bourbonnais, Illinois.
Okay.
It's where the Chicago Bears, they used to do their summer camp over there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought I recognized that name. Cool. Awesome. Well, before we close out, what do you think is that, and I ask this of everyone, what is that one verse or that verses that when you really think of it, that would probably be your foundation of your life that you
Mhm.
hang your hat on, you would say, this is it. This is how I get through my day. This is what I go to every single time.
Yeah, Proverbs 3, 5, 6. That's my grandpa's verse. That's our family verse. That's kind of our motto. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he'll direct your path. Um, that
Have
just
you,
Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
have you seen that verse really come to light recently?
I have. Even just taking my GA position, I was not planning on Concordia at all.
Mhm.
I had other plans. Concordia, I was like, I guess I might as well apply. And I had everything else set up for other jobs. And it just having to trust God. And he was like, nope, we're going to Concordia. I was like, okay. So and it's been a great experience. I couldn't ask for a better experience there.
Well,
So
awesome, awesome. That's awesome. Well, Hannah, thank you very much for doing this and joining us. Yeah, we'll be talking here pretty soon about what Christian Sports Medicine Alliance is doing in Central America, the Caribbean, uh,
oh,
and what our vision is, trying to fulfill our mission. If you are interested in learning more about Christian Sports Medicine Alliance, you can please go to our website at christiansportsmed.org. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do that at tweetcsma. If you are a Christian athletic trainer and you are looking for a place where you can do life, you can share your thoughts, your concerns, your prayer requests, your favorite verse, just do your life story on Facebook. It's called Beyond the ATR Facebook page. And we have well over 2,000 members on that Facebook page. And it's a great place just to go and be able to share what's going on in your life and how God is working in your life and everything. So again, Hannah, thank you very much for joining us on this. And we look forward to talking to you again soon.
thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.